Hi, I'm Ali and welcome to alycjcooks studio. Today we are making ice cream. Now, I don't have a fancy ice cream maker, no sorbetier. I might put it on my wish list, maybe Christmas birthdays. But all I'm using is my food processor. Now, you can also use a blender if you happen to have a powerful blender. But I used to make a similar recipe to this years ago when I worked on the yachts, and we would maybe be in the Indian Ocean or the Mediterranean, the Caribbean somewhere, and we'd be away from shore for weeks at a time, and I'd have all this fresh produce, and sometimes the only way to prevent it from spoiling and to actually get use from it and be able to make delicious things from it was to be able to break it down and pop it in the freezer. So I'd have pineapples and mangoes, bananas and whatever, and I'd peel them, chop them, get them into bags and into the freezer. And then what I could do with that was at an instant, the drop of a hat almost, was to pull out cubes from the freezer, pop them in the food processor with a little bit of coconut cream, and hey presto, instant ice cream, kind of. You had to work quite fast because the conditions were very hot at times. But that's sort of similar to what we're going to do today. I really hope you'll enjoy it. There's some customizations that you can do. I'll explain those as we go along. So let's make some ice cream. So I've got about 2 sliced frozen bananas. Doesn't matter if they're clumped together, it'll break up as we go along. In here I've got a sort of a really good handful, if not 2, of frozen raspberries, sort of about a cupful. And they can go in, again, it doesn't matter if they're clumped together. I also have I've actually frozen down a portion of coconut yogurt. So that goes in there, frozen solid as well. I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then also on standby, I just have some plant-based milk. I have soy milk, but you can pretty much you can use coconut milk or almond or anything like that. It's just to loosen it up and get it going. So literally just a splash to start with, and then we'll see how it goes. We're just going to scrape down. So as you can see, it's quite creamy, but we need to work quite quickly. So into a container and into the freezer with that, just whilst I get on with the rest of the recipe. So about 10 minutes. Right, so onto the sauce or the coulis to go with our ice cream. In here I have a good cup of they were actually frozen raspberries. They've now been defrosted. I have a good teaspoon of lime juice in there. I also have some fresh chopped ginger, just because I like it. That's completely optional. You don't have to put that in there. Just a splash of water. Now, where's my agave? There it is over there. Literally just, I want to keep the consistency, and there'll be enough moisture, water content in that fruit for me to not worry about adding anything. Just to take the edge off some of the sourness, and also the acidity of the fruit and the lime, and then we're going to get that onto my blender. Now you can use a stick blender for this, and also if you're not using ginger, then you can push it through a sieve as well. So we'll get that onto the blender. That's it all. I give that a little bit of a shake. There we are, and okay, so let's just have a look in here, and you can see we have a nice bright, smooth, delicious coulis in there, which we can use for decorating our plate and also adding to our dish. So I'll just just want to show you the consistency that we have in here. You can see good and creamy and velvety. That's exactly what we want. And I promise you, oh golly, it tastes amazing. It tastes like sherbet. Woohoo! So all we want with our coulis here is just a little, this gets fun. You might like to have the kids involved for this one, but just a little dollop where you want it in the plate. Now you can add more on the side afterwards if you like. Now, here comes the fun bit. I'm going to stand back and we are going to splat. Splat a bit more and splat a bit more. So I'm going to take my cake, my little portion of cake, and I'm just going to pop it there like so. And next is our ice cream. Now, if you didn't want to have your piece of cake on the plate, then what you can do is you can take something like a cutter or a cookie cutter, a big cookie cutter, and you could actually hold it just where I've placed the cake. You could hold it there and sprinkle in some speculoos crumbs or ginger biscuit crumbs, and then lift it off, and then you have another sort of it's like a platform, a stage, if you like, for your ice cream. And it adds, again, flavour, colour, dimensions, texture, and what have you. So let's move on to the ice cream, the last stage. So just dampen off that spoon a little bit more, and we will keep turning. Escape. Just splice off the little extra bits on the end, and we need to move quite quickly with this. There we are. So that happens by natural occurrence. Get that other spoon warmer, and you'll see we're getting the shape that we want now. Now you can keep going and you can get it absolutely perfect. My plate is pretty rustic and I'm happy with my scoop. So I'm just going to pop that onto the top of my sponge. Now hopefully it will just come off. Super duper. And isn't that just a little cutie? And I'm just going to do, just to finish it off, just a couple of little, just a little almond yogurt. And then what I have over here is just some of my favourite lemon verbena. I'm just going to pinch off, just my favourite ever, and I have this growing in abundance on my balcony. So I'm just going to pinch off a couple of those and just pop them in our yogurt just to finish it and give it a little bit of colour. There we go. So that's how we make raspberry, banana and coconut ice cream, and how we can make it look nice too. It's summer!